Do you want to know how to be spiritually happy? Hi everyone, this is Dr. Sania, and welcome once again to another one of my videos. And welcome to the channel, Ignite Mind and Spirit. So I just wanted to share with you guys today, you know, what I've been digging up, and I just wanted to share with you what I found. One of the biggest things we ask is, how can I be happy? How can I be truly happy? I serve God. I've decided or confessed with my lips that I am committed to Him, but how can I truly be happy? And right now, I'm going to share with you a formula given in Scripture itself that tells you exactly what you are to do in order to be happy. So if you have your notepad and if you have your Bible, I'd like for you to turn to Matthew chapter 5 with me. And Matthew chapter 5, reading from verse 1 and going down, it says, "And seeing the multitudes, he went upon a mountain. And when he was seated, his disciples came to him. Then he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So right then and there, we're hearing here that in order for you to be blessed, we first got to be poor in spirit. We got to mourn. We got to be humble. And so I kind of want to break this down with you very quickly as to what this really, really means. And, for myself, I've been spending some time to really sit through this and meditate on how this is speaking to my life personally. My prayer has been to really experience God for who He is, and for Him not just to be an abstract thought or idea or knowledge in my head, but to really experience Him in the fullness of who He is and what He wants to be to me. And so, what I understand here from the word blessed itself, in the Greek word, and this is a fancy word, guys, Makarios, and this is the Hebrew as well, which is Ashrei. Blessed in Greek and Hebrew actually means happy, happy. So right then and there, we're learning that happy is the one who does these things. And we know that the main objective of the kingdom is to restore us to Himself, to restore the lost happiness that Eden once had, that the earth once had, to restore the happiness of Eden. And that also, for those who decide to follow God, to be able to experience this peace and also this happiness as well. Even though we have to travel through the straight and narrow path, that we will experience pure peace and joy and a lasting satisfaction of heart and soul that only comes from God. Only comes from the peace of God, which passes all understanding. I don't know about you, but if you've ever seen someone who they're going through a really tough time, and first of all, as a mental health therapist, I should say, if you're going through a tough time and you are really feeling the pangs of the pain, we gotta validate that. We need to be compassionate towards it. And I've also met individuals who are going through a really tough time, and somehow they could communicate a peace which passes all understanding. And when you really sit and listen, is that they have a deep trust and hope in God. And could see where this is what was bringing them through. When Christ left the earth, one of the things that he left was his peace. One of the things he left was his peace. And we know that this type of peace we're talking about is one that is much more than just the fact that we're out of a war. We're out of a war with whatever we're going through. But it's just peace knowing that we are one with God again and that we are his children once again. And we can be rest assured that he will always be with us no matter what. And so I just wanted to break that down for you, that blessed here really means happy, happiness. So how does happiness comes in when it comes to the person who is poor in spirit? And what it really means here is that this is for the individual who senses a deep spiritual poverty and they are longing for God to fill them spiritually. And I found this to be very profound, because if you don't feel the need for something, you're not going to seek after it. As David in his psalm said, as the deer pant after the water, so my soul longs for you. And it's the same thing here. You're not going to long after God if you're not seeing your spiritual poverty, that the fact that everything that you've been trying to do to be good and to be holy and perfect within your own merits, within your own strength, it has been more distressing on you more than anything. But when you recognize that really, I just need to connect with God and with his power and develop and nurture that relationship with him, because I need him. It is his righteousness that I need. It is his strength that I need. Then that's when you start to experience a deep sense of happiness in your spirit. This also talks about, happy are those who mourn. And this also, it talks about a deep, intense mourning. This is what it means, a deep, intense mourning, a deep sense of spiritual need. I'm not sure if I've ever felt this way before, but, have you ever felt dry and feel as if you're just trying to reach out to God, but you're just not able to connect with him or feel his presence in your life? And through that experience, it could be that the Lord is saying, I'm calling you higher, because you're feeling that emptiness, right? It's not like you don't know it's not, it's there. You're feeling that emptiness, and that is God telling you, I am calling you. I'm here, but I'm calling you. I'm calling you to lean into me even more. I'm calling you to nurture that relationship in me. I'm calling you to learn to listen to me. And so it is hard for us to really want that if we don't recognize our loss, the loss of what we could have in Christ Jesus, the loss of a life of peace, groundedness, security, hope, happiness. If we don't recognize that, then we're not going to want it. And so that is why it's saying here that happy are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted, because God is our comforter, and he will definitely give you a sense of peace, knowing that he has adopted you as his child and you are his child. And when it comes to being meek, it says, happy are those who are humble. To meek, which really means you're mild and gentle, you're humble, and you're also not just humble in just the things of the world and humble around, people you're walking, people are like, oh, that person is so humble. No, it does not only mean that, it means that you're humble in accepting the will of God. And that's why I find this to be so powerful, because we love to be in control. We do, especially if he's leading you in a direction that you have a certain amount of knowledge in. A lot of times, he has told me, Sania, do this. And I said, yes, God. And I run ahead to go do it. And then he's like, hold up, do it my way. But I go ahead and do it my way. He's saying, okay, God is saying, do it my way, my way, let's do it God's way. And I run ahead and I go do it my way. But here it's saying, happy are those who are humble and willing to do his will and to submit to his plan. And what are his plans for us, right? His plans are for us to prosper, to be healthy, to have hope and a future, and not to harm us. And this sometimes is a little bit hard for us to digest. Sometimes we feel that a lack of control, and we're like, oh, I got to go do this on my own. But he's saying, here, you're going to be happier if you submit to my will. What is the will of God for you? What is he communicating to you? And what is he saying? Okay, this is how I want you to do it. And the question is, are you humble in accepting that challenge and moving forward in that way? And so it goes on to say that, we also need to hunger and thirst after righteousness. Now, this is very hard sometimes because guess what? We have so many things in society that's feeding into our minds, so many self help books, so many self help strategies, so many life changing diets, everything that we got to go for. Because guess what? We're sensing that emptiness. We're sensing that we need to come up higher, but we're seeking it in the wrong places. We know when we thirst and we hunger after righteousness that God is going to transform our life. This is going to mean that we're going to take steps that are not necessarily like what the world wants us to take. But this is saying here that happy are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. When you are hungry and when you're thirsty, you know what that feels like. Somebody's talking to you, like, I am not even hearing anything you're saying right now, or I'll answer you after I get something in my tummy. And it should be the same approach that we have towards the righteousness. And who is our righteousness? No one but Jesus Christ himself. We need to hunger and thirst after Jesus Christ. And not only hunger and thirst for today. If you're filled today, that is good for today. We need to hunger and thirst after him on a daily basis. Because I haven't met anyone who ate last week and said, this is going to last me for 2 months or a month or a week. We have to eat every day to be able to nurture our bodies. And it's the same thing. We need to see that as vitally important in nurturing our spirit on a daily basis by hungering and thirsting after righteousness. And then it moves on to say that for those who are merciful, right? This means that we not only believe what we believe and follow what we follow, but we also manifest what we believe. So that is faith in action. We have faith in God, but this is showing that we are showing the love of God through the compassion that we show to others, through the services that we offer around us. We're pretty much doing what Christ did. He walked around. He helped many people who were ailing and who were in need. He helped those individuals, and is saying that not only believe what you believe or receive what you receive, but also go out and show mercy to those. And there are many people out there who are looking for something. And this something is not just money, it's not just cash or food. They're looking for a purpose, they're looking for hope, they're looking for an unconditional love. And when we introduce others to this, we're actually showing mercy because we're letting others know what is available to them in order to help them to be everlastingly happy as well. And so that's why I just love this. It said, happy are those who are pure in heart. Pretty much, It is you are focused on ensuring that your conscience and your intellect and your inner person is focused on what is good and what is just and what is pure, right? Whatever is pure, whatever is just, those are the things we need to meditate on. And this, to a great extent, has to do with what we feed our minds on as well. What environment we find ourselves engulfed in, what content that we find ourselves taking in on a daily basis, that to a great extent impacts the way how we are pure of heart or pure in heart. We need to be inward clean. We need to have a inward clean. And the psalmist said that, search me, O God, and know my heart, I pray. This is something that he talks about, and this is something that we need to also pray on a daily basis. Happy are those who are pure in heart. And it goes on. This is just amazing. Happy are those who are peacemakers. And this is not just those who advocate for peace around us, but also those who shine the light of Jesus everywhere we go. That love of Jesus, that peace of Jesus. Because a lot of times, we're so passionate about our walk that sometimes we can be contentious. And this is saying, happy are those who are peacemakers. And Christ here is referring to bringing others in harmony with God. It is introducing others to the peace of God. That, we are no longer at enmity with God. We need to let people know that we are no longer at enmity with God, but we are his children. He has bought us with a precious price, and that was paid for on the cross. This is what we need everyone to know. This is what everyone needs to know. This is the peace that we need to be giving people. This is it. And that's Jesus Christ himself. And the last one, it says, yes, with everything that you go through, you are going to be experiencing persecution. You will be criticized. You will be looked on as weird. You will be looked on as peculiar and maybe chastised or called names. But he's saying, happy are those who are persecuted for my name's sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And this really shows the allegiance, who you have an allegiance to. Everybody, regardless of whether they tell you or not, everybody has an allegiance to something. Some people have an allegiance to break others down. Some people have an allegiance to do things that it's good, and they're passionate about it. They're very outspoken about it, right? We also ought to have an allegiance. Those people are criticized about what they do. They're criticized on a daily basis, but they are passionate about it. They don't care. And God is saying, and they're actually happy about what they do. Those persecution or those criticisms that they get actually pump them up to do it even more. It strengthens their purpose. And it's the same thing that we got to do. We need to stop hiding in the bushels, right? We need to stop hiding our light. We need to be bold in proclaiming what we believe and why we are the way we are, right? We need to be okay being called weird or peculiar, knowing that we are happy, knowing that whoever we profess, he is giving us peace and we have something special going on with him. We got to pray that God gives us the strength to be able to stand up for him, especially in these days. And so, guys, these are the clues on how to live a happy life. As I was reading through too, I realized that this is actually a formula for how you know if you're a citizen of the kingdom. And as you probably realize by now, that a lot of these are not necessarily, okay, I'm ticking things off the list. No, all of these steps, we need Jesus for that. We need to have a relationship with Jesus in order for all of these factors to be taking place. Everything we do has to rest on Jesus. It has to rest on our relationship with Him. If you're doing it of yourself, you're going to get tired, you're going to get weary, you're going to get disappointed in yourself, and eventually be like, you know what, whatever, I'm not going to do this. But everything here we need to do because we want to have that friendship relationship with Jesus Christ. We want to have that peace in Him because what? We recognize He loves us, and we want to be with Him because He loves us so much. So I hope that this was an encouragement to you. And I pray that you'll be able to see Matthew chapter 5 in a different way, from verse 3 all the way to, let's see what verse it went to 11. And, if you'd like to hear more of these thoughts, please subscribe to this channel and also share this with a friend, because this may be encouraging to someone. Until next time, this is Dr. Sania Duki wishing you many blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.